Hello, you're watching Proactive London. I'm joined by Neil Herbert, Executive Chairman of Atlantic Lithium, as well as General Manager for Exploration, Ewan Williams. Neil, Ewan, good to speak with you.
Good to be here again.
Yeah, good to join you here.
So Neil, let me start with you with a very topical question, I suppose. We've seen in recent years that Leo Lithium has agreed to sell its remaining 40% stake in the Ghana project in Mali to Ganfeng. So Ganfeng will end up paying more than $400 million. Tell us what this deal means for the lithium industry, and particularly for lithium projects in Africa.
It's a good question. There have been a number of acquisitions over the years of African lithium projects, and obviously a number of very significant projects have already come under the ownership of major, mainly Chinese organizations, to be honest. So this is another acquisition, and it does leave us with the Ewoyaa Project in Ghana as one of the few remaining independent lithium companies coming to production shortly. Obviously, it's a very significant project that we have. Ghana is a very significant project. We have the advantage, obviously, of the situation of the project and the nature of the mineralization, which allows us for low capex, low opex production. So again, it's an affirmation for the industry as a whole, I think, of the interest in lithium, and we continue to see the rollout of EV vehicles apace. And I think there's over 150 battery factories in China already looking for more products so that they can produce more EVs.
Ewan, let's bring you in now. Congratulations, first of all, on your recent appointment to General Manager for Exploration at Atlantic Lithium. I know you've been at the company for a number of years now, but for people who are new to you, could you give us a bit of an overview of your career prior to joining Atlantic Lithium and also your role within the exploration team to date?
I've been with Atlantic for just under 6 years now, and as exploration manager for Ghana. Historically, my career has spanned, well, it's over 30 years now, and it's virtually all been in exploration. And I would say about 75% of it in Africa, starting off in South Africa with some of the big mining houses, working through gold exploration, then manganese exploration, bushveld layered intrusive complex exploration. Then I've worked with Newmont and the old Genco Billiton on porphyry copper exploration and epithermal gold exploration in Indonesia, and then following that with Anglo American also in Indonesia and also in Fiji and Papua New Guinea. And then I returned back to Africa with other base metal exploration. So I've got plenty of exploration experience, and most of that in Africa, which stands me in good stead for working with Atlantic here.
How does your new role as GM build upon your previous role as exploration manager?
Essentially an extension of that role. As exploration manager, I was doing most of the planning work for the actual implementation of the drill programs. Designing the drill programs to increase the resource, to step out the resource, to improve on the resource, bring it up to from inferred into indicated and measured in places. So it's a similar role, but now my colleague Abdul Razak will be taking on the Ghana exploration manager role, and he will do that, but we will work very, very closely. And then I will be liaising more with the executive team at Atlantic and helping to drive the exploration story forward further.
Well, I mean, earlier this week, you announced assay results at the dogleg targets and from sterilization drilling at the Ewoyaa Lithium Project. Can you give us some more information on when this drilling took place and why the resource extension drilling was focused on dogleg in particular?
The recent results, the drilling took place in between February and March. It was a mix of it's mainly RC drilling what we've announced now, but we had one diamond hole which we're still waiting for results from. But this was important because we had one hole in the northern end of the Ewoyaa Main which didn't quite link up with our early drilling, and we reanalyzed that hole using 3D modeling software, and it sort of dawned on me that we shouldn't be confining our model to just a simple intrusion. There could be other intrusion directions. So we planned some holes to have a look at this in late 2023, and they were successful in supporting a model for a mineralized pegmatite that is dipping relatively shallowly towards the north and not in the steeply dipping, almost subvertical Ewoyaa main direction. So we expanded on the drill program during the end of 2023, and then this recent drilling in February and March in 2024, and we've basically defined a very robust, shallowly dipping pegmatite, which will give us some shallow tons with a lower stripping ratio, which will be a great asset to the resource. And this resource is outside the existing MRE, so this will be contribute to our new MRE, which we're hoping to do by middle of this year.
Maybe the announcement states that drilling will recommence in the second half of 2024, suggesting you believe there must be further growth of the resource beyond this imminent MRE.
Yes. In other parts of the resource, we have identified areas where the pegmatites are still open at depth and laterally in some places. So we will address those later on this year with further drilling. So we are hoping that these will continue. So yes, we're hoping for further increases in the MRE.
What are the company's key priority targets over the near term and the longer term, Ewan?
We will reevaluate the grass cutter targets because they are all open at depth. The question is how far and how deep, and some of our drilling has reached the limit of our RC rig capabilities. So any further drilling beyond that depth, we would have to do with diamond drilling. That's going to be slower and more expensive than the RC drilling, but it does provide you with robust information with drill core. But we will put together some further proposals to the executive team because we think there's a good chance that particularly in the grass cutter targets, that there are some substantial possibility of depth extensions there. So we will continue, and that will all contribute to an MRE if it's successful. But we'll test these hopefully this year, and if the initial tests are good, then we will propose a more robust drilling program to define resources in these areas.
Well, Neil, let's bring you back in here. Could you give us the latest on the developments with the Ghana Stock Exchange listing, please?
Yes, so actually I've got my bag packed because I'm about to go down to Ghana for the first day of trading. So it's quite an exciting development from our side. So this gives us three things. The first of all, obviously it's another means by which Ghanaians can participate in the project. We already have the Sovereign Wealth Fund invested into Atlantic Lithium itself, about to invest into the local subsidiary as well. But this gives an opportunity for any Ghanaians, from funds through to individuals, the opportunity to invest in the market. So that's important in itself. It's important as well because it was an obligation, a commitment we made to the government that we would do a stock exchange listing when we got our mining lease at the end of October last year. So it's an important step in that way as well. And also just it's another means by which you can invest into Atlantic Lithium, which I just think is a great opportunity for everyone.
And finally, could you give us an overview of other catalysts that your investors should be on the lookout for, Neil?
There's a lot going on at the moment, to be honest. So a very busy period. So obviously, the Ghana Stock Exchange listing, looking for that to occur next week. A major step in terms of the permitting and regulatory hurdles is the ratification by Parliament. We would expect this to be done within this quarter of the year. So there's actually a bill being prepared, I believe, for the Parliament when it comes back from recess. So we look forward to having that done this quarter of this year. Following that, we've also been progressing very well on offtake discussions. So we're looking to get an announcement again out by the middle of the year, because we've now come to a very accelerated point in that program of work, and that provides significant funding towards the project and our share of funding of the project, which goes alongside our partners' shares. So that's important too. And we would hope to complete the remaining permitting steps in the third quarter of the year, such that we can actually cut the sod on the project by the end of the third quarter. Let's hope.
So obviously a lot going on. Congratulations again on that imminent stock exchange listing. And thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Neil Herbert, Executive Chairman of Atlantic Lithium, Ewan Williams, General Manager for Exploration.